Thank you for the curiosity that has prompted you to take a look at our presentation. My name is Regina Splice Tafoya, and I am the motivator behind Washa Academy, an in-person independent school looking to restore our roots, so to speak, by offering a regenerative education like no other that nurtures a child's mind, models success as learning to think critically, and awakens a sense of wonder for the world. My husband, James Tafoya, is the visionary of this project, and as the motivator, I bring over 20 years of experience in alternative and holistic education, as well as experience in founding an international school in Japan. We are looking for help because the space that we're currently renting has been sold. We have found the perfect property for our school, and we are seeking ambassadors, donors, investors who are willing to leave even just a little bit of their legacy, not just in the physicality of Washa Academy, but in what will be one of the many schools across the world who are responding to the major political and societal shifts, the economic shifts, the shifts in the way we do business, the shifts in the way we do school. If you are one of these people or think you might be one of these people, please consider listening and reading the rest of our presentation. Thank you. Like many alternative schools, we offer a very holistic approach by developing the hands, hearts, and minds of our students. For example, in grades K to 4, students will be introduced to culinary arts, ag arts, a unique art and handwork curriculum as inspired by the Waldorf approach. They will be introduced to empathy and mindfulness on a daily basis and will be exposed to an extreme minimum use of media and computers until grade 5, when we're more confident that our brains, the students' brains, have developed a strong base of synaptic connections which keep our emotional and intellectual health healthy. We will be utilizing the Montessori approach strongly in the younger grades because it allows for independent learning, which truly develops a love of learning. There will be group learning and there will be experiential learning. Our wilderness awareness outdoor education curriculum is extremely unique in that once a week we devote an entire day outdoors in nature, which develops an incredible relationship with our world and is also a very unique way of introducing academics to our lives. What really sets us apart is, as an academy offering an innovative learning platform, we are not bound to any one method of teaching, pedagogy, or set of inflexible and impenetrable standards. Each semester, we get to sit down as a team and really look into what we have presented to our students and see if it's meeting our needs as teachers, as a community, and as students. And we can shift and change as our needs are presenting. Washa Academy is located in Crested Butte, Colorado, which is in Gunnison County. We are a small mountain town, and like many small towns across the United States, have been experiencing an influx of people moving from larger cities to smaller towns. Crested Butte has been experiencing this issue for well over a decade. The public primary school in and of itself has experienced 9 to 10% growth annually for 10 to 15 years and is currently over capacity by 75 to 85 students. This has prompted the district to propose a $90 million expansion project, which would raise our taxes significantly. As a private school, Washa Academy can help offset some of these costs. These students have nowhere to go. Not only can we offer them a schoolhouse, but we can offer them an educational model that is unique, a model that many residents in this town are seeking. I'm sure you will not be surprised to hear that we believe Washa Academy is the solution in and of itself. It truly is more than a curriculum or a framework. It is a movement designed to recognize, reveal, and develop regenerative education. I first heard this word on Maui from a dear, dear friend of mine about 10 years ago who explained to me the power of regenerative work and how we're constantly putting forth into the community, which is constantly giving back. It's moving, it's fluid. At the center are the needs that we feel are most important to us, and this too is not set in stone. Protecting these needs is a constantly moving workforce of resourcing, resilience, restorative practices, and renewal. And reflecting all of this is a very delicate and careful and intentional interweaving of various approaches, which include, in our case, multicultural educational practices, Socratic method, wilderness awareness, the various holistic approaches, such as the Montessori method or the Waldorf method. We have Spanish, we have music together. Dear to my heart is the communication in the classroom. And so I encourage you to look further into this. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call me.
Our family chose Wausau for its one-of-a-kind learning experiences in our area. From the small student-to-teacher ratio to the unhurried learning through play, it incorporates learning methods that we believe will help us raise well-rounded, intelligent individuals. We can't wait to see the beautiful people it will help shape our community. Danielle Heitman, current enrollee. This is one of many testimonials on our website. And to the left is an email I received this morning. This is one of 4 emails I received this morning in support of securing the Wicks property. To whom it may concern, if Wausau secures the Wicks property, 17280 Highway 135, then I will most likely enroll my child in the school. Moreover, I have continued talks with people throughout this community about Wausau, and I believe several others are motivated to and will most likely enroll their children in the school as well once a permanent location is secured. Regina is a highly regarded educator in this area, and her school model is a unique opportunity that is vital and sought after in this county. The public primary school in Crested Butte has experienced 9 to 10% growth annually for over a decade and is currently over capacity by 80 students with no immediate capacity increases available. People are looking for a better option, and I believe you could expect the same growth rate for Wausau. Investors are zeroing in on this area because it is a pivot point of growth, and this is expected to continue into the foreseeable future. A cursory look at the 2021 Assessor's Report will show this remarkable growth. Sincerely, Catherine and Eric Nettles, Crested Butte South, homeowners and residents.
Our funding requests certainly seem ominous at this time, but we do believe that there are enough of you out there who do believe in this educational model and are willing to help us move forward with this project as an innovative platform. This fundraising is allocated over a 1 to 5 year period of time, with the most urgent and immediate needs being moving costs and a down payment for a property purchase. This property that we have found as our forever home and believe as a perfect match for our program was discovered back in February, late February, early March, when another buyer went under contract with it. It is now back on the market, and we believe this to be our second chance, and we're hoping to secure this property before somebody else does. We have one investor who is willing to put in up to $100,000 towards this down payment, and we are seeking 2 or 3 more investors who are willing to match that number. We know you're out there. The remaining costs are general operating costs, playground and landscaping costs, material and furniture, activity bus, and a new building. We will not be needing a new building for another 3 to 5 years, depending on our growth. We have enough space in the 3 buildings that are currently on the property to house students for that long. The funding that arrives to us, we will be holding with great care and making certain that it is allocated to the right place in terms of whether it goes towards operating costs, playground costs, materials, activity bus, etc. And we will be using any remaining funds as scholarships towards students who may not otherwise be able to join our program. This chart highlights our 3 to 4 year business growth model. Our income does reflect our best case scenario, and our expenses do reflect our worst case scenario per monthly expense budget, which would be $7,800 a month in year one. In year one, our best case scenario is 9 students. Our worst case scenario would be 6 students, in which we would adjust our expenses, which are flexible. Please see our more detailed budget reports at the end of this presentation. We have buffers on the property that together would equal what would be one student's worth of income. We have a yurt that we could rent out. We have hay that is produced on the property and can be sold. We have a greenhouse where we can yield a crop and sell our crop to the local supermarket. Once we make it past year one, year two, we believe that we will be growing exponentially and can only be a success from there on. Meet our team. Regina Splistafoya, that's me. I've been calling myself motivator, when in actuality the motivators are all the students and the families. I will simply be facilitating as director, teacher, and curriculum generator. James Tavoya is our registered agent and owner. Not only is he a visionary, but he has owned and operated numerous restaurants and businesses and has a great sense for what works and what does not. Brandy Hooley is one of our first founding families and has been priceless in helping us in the office and helping us with advertising, getting the word out, and sorting out some business details for licensing and what have you. We could not move forward without her. Our families, who are not listed on here, unfortunately, are part of our team. The community who has been sending me messages and supporting us and giving us well wishes, they are also a part of our team. Thank you for taking the time to look through and listen to our presentation and learn a little bit more about what we do at Washaw Academy. If you have any more questions, please call me or email me. You can also go to washaw.com where there's more information about our organization. If you feel so called in this moment to contribute to our project, you can send your contributions through PayPal at rstafoya@washaw.com. You can also send your contributions through the Community Banks of Colorado. Have a wonderful day, and we wish you well. This chart highlights our 3 to 4 year business growth model. Our income does reflect our best case scenario, and our expenses do reflect our worst case scenario per monthly expense budget, which would be $7,800 a month in year one. In year one, our best case scenario is 9 students. Our worst case scenario would be 6 students, in which we would adjust our expenses, which are flexible. Please see our more detailed budget reports at the end of this presentation. We have buffers on the property that together would equal what would be one student's worth of income. We have a yurt that we could rent out. We have hay that is produced on the property and can be sold. We have a greenhouse where we can yield a crop and sell our crop to the local supermarket. Once we make it past year one, year two, we believe that we will be growing exponentially and can only be a success from there on. This chart highlights our 3 to 4 year business growth model. Our income does reflect our best case scenario, and our expenses do reflect our worst case scenario per monthly expense budget, which would be $7,800 a month in year one. In year one, our best case scenario is 9 students. Our worst case scenario would be 6 students, in which we would adjust our expenses, which are flexible. Please see our more detailed budget reports at the end of this presentation. We have buffers on the property that together would equal what would be one student's worth of income. We have a yurt that we could rent out. We have hay that is produced on the property and can be sold. We have a greenhouse where we can yield a crop and sell our crop to the local supermarket. Once we make it past year one, year two, we believe that we will be growing exponentially and can only be a success from there on. This chart highlights our 3 to 4 year business growth model. Our income does reflect our best case scenario, and our expenses do reflect our worst case scenario per monthly expense budget, which would be $7,800 a month in year one. In year one, our best case scenario is 9 students. Our worst case scenario would be 6 students, in which we would adjust our expenses, which are flexible. Please see our more detailed budget reports at the end of this presentation. We have buffers on the property that together would equal what would be one student's worth of income. We have a yurt that we could rent out. We have hay that is produced on the property and can be sold. We have a greenhouse where we can yield a crop and sell our crop to the local supermarket. Once we make it past year 1, year 2, we believe that we will be growing exponentially and can only be a success from there on.